I know you watch countless videos from Alan Carr on someone else, but you're still there, searching for an answer to quit while they hold the key information, so they could sell their courses to you. Well, I could do the same, but I'm not going to. Because I feel you. 3 years ago, I quit smoking and my journey was a nightmare. I wanted to quit with full of my heart, but there wasn't any path to go. So I failed 9 times in this journey until I made my last attempt of succeed. Now I become a 3-year-old non-smoker and I helped 2 people so far. So in this video, I'm going to share every knowledge you need in 4 steps without holding anything back, so you could quit smoking without having any pain. The first one is I give up. There was a certain time where I tried everything to quit about this thing. I bought books to read, cessation tools to use, but none of them were help. It's not because those things are useless. It's because I didn't start with the end in mind. I was just sitting there trying to do more as much as possible, but it's nothing more than a pretend and imagination in my mind. Yes, I was feeling good and relaxed because I think I was doing something about it, but since I didn't know what was I going through, it all just stayed with empty actions and boredom. So I want you to give up every cessation tool and knowledge you got about smoking and draw yourself a clear path to go. The second step is finding your reason. When I was stopping smoking for the first time, I was in love with a ginger girl when I was 17. I was living my heights because I was about to marry with my sweetheart, but there was a problem. She didn't want to marry with a guy who smokes and poisons himself all the time. That's totally understandable. I mean, who wants a husband who poisons himself, right? So I stopped smoking once and for all without questioning, without being afraid of cravings whatsoever, and started a new, fresh life. But it didn't last long. We started to argue a lot, couldn't find anything in common between us, and the whole marriage collapsed. Now I didn't got anything in my hand except the cigarette pack to smoke. If you're gonna quit smoking for someone else like I did in the past, I'm afraid it's not gonna last long. Whether it's your daughter or your wife, it really doesn't matter. All matters is you have to do this action for yourself, because we're the ones who's making our life worse by smoking, and we're the ones who's gonna make our life better by quitting. So if you want to stay on the positive side, we have to do the things for ourselves. I want you to ask these 2 questions to yourself. Why I want to stop smoking? And if I wasn't smoking, what type of a life would I live? Once you find these 2 answers, you're gonna understand why you got addicted in the first question, and you're gonna understand your non-smoker self in the second. The third one is realizing the excuses. When I tried my 9th attempt to go, I was heavily scared because I already failed 8 times and I was so scared to fail again. And this scared feeling built so many walls inside my brain that I was so afraid to try anything at all. I was petrified, and because of this, I failed again. So I want you to find every idea you got about cigarettes. If you don't observe and reevaluate them, we're gonna fail eventually to cravings. Because we technically crave things if we think it's useful for us. For me in the past, I was so scared to take an action, even quitting smoking. So I used cigarettes as a stress relief option. But there's so many articles about it that cigarettes is the main factor of stress. I know it consciously, but my subconscious mind doesn't know that. He only wants to adapt the habits we're doing so he could spend less energy from surviving tiger attacks. But I'm freaking in this forest recording this video to you, and I'm living a safe life. There will be no tigers anymore, and I'm not gonna die from their attacks. But our subconscious mind doesn't know that. Whether you're learning guitar or trying to quit smoking, he just wants to adapt certain habits so he can spend less energy to survive. So once we start to observe our beliefs and actions about smoking, our subconscious mind's gonna heavily pay attention to it, because we didn't do this thing for our entire lives, and it's a new thing to adapt. That's the key point of quitting smoking. So whatever reason you have, I want you to find it and do 2 things about it. First, educate yourself about this topic. I want you to read useful articles, books, watch videos about this topic so you could educate more about this and your subconscious mind could pick up on these thoughts. Then 2, I want you to realize with the consequences by yourself. Let's say you think smoking makes you relax. Then I want you to hold this thought in your mind, go in front of your mirror and light a cigarette. You're gonna see every truth beneath in this lie, and you want to drop cigarettes automatically, because you could see with so much awareness that this thing doesn't make you relax. Even your face is going down. And I want to add another point onto this as well. Smoking is not an actual addiction. Although so many doctors and gurus saying nicotine is the most addictive drug, we're not addicted to nicotine. It's not even restored in our bodies since we have 5 nanograms already, and it enters and quits in 10 seconds. So what's the real problem? We're just addicted to emotions we felt about cigarettes. That's why I make this step to you, so you could break those excuses we got and quit from this mess automatically. The 4th step is start as a non-smoker from the start. Maybe the thing I said sounds too good to be true, but if you talk with any smoker who drops cigarettes, they're gonna say the same thing to you. They quitted this thing like a knife edge and never go back from the smoking habit. And the interesting part is they didn't do it consciously. Their subconscious mind find help to do so, they implement this 4 simple steps that I give it to you and continue their lives as a non-smoker. And the last step I'm gonna say is the most crucial part of it. If you start your life directly as a person, who do you want to become? You're gonna achieve that goal faster than usual because your mind and nervous system are heavily adapted into achieving the goal you set. They don't care if it's unrealistic or realistic. They only care about achieving the goal you set so they could increase their survival chance again. And as an example, I want you to imagine yourself in a moment where you're worried. I could bet your breath becomes shallower, your bodies become tense because your mind and nervous system tries to protect you from this moment. But this incident doesn't happen right now. We're still safe and the only thing changes our beliefs and mindset. So what if you focus on those 2 things? Start to think and act like a non-smoker and continue your life like nothing happened. Well, that's the sweet spot of quitting smoking. Once you achieve that state, you're gonna feel like you quit it like a shift. But until we come to this moment, we have to implement the 4 steps that I told you. Now you know everything about quitting smoking. And if you want to quit smoking once and for all, there's a link in the description to book a call with me so we could handle the situation together. This is I too, and I know you're gonna make it.